Live from the Consular Studios in Nassau, Bahamas, this is Bahamas at Sunrise. And now your hosts, Romuald Ferreira and Anastasia Palacios.
Good morning, Bahamas. Welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise on a cool Monday morning. My name is Romy Ferreira.
And I'm Anastasia Palacios.
It's cool outside, but it's warm in studio, and it's full of warmth just for you. So happy 2016 to you. And of course, we have an exciting show lined up.
We always do. It's going to be a wonderful week. The weather is nice and cool. And as we cool off, we want to get you pumped up with some of the exciting stuff happening in our country. And so it's going to be a fantastic show.
Oh, boy. I want to congratulate all the marathon runners, all of the runners, the 5Kers, everybody who went out and participated. I heard a grand time was had by all. I saw all the Facebook postings. Looks very exciting. All age ranges represented. All certainly. People in their 70s.
And we had a gentleman do the marathon that was actually about 92. And so, yeah, there are people that are really sticking this thing out for good health. So congratulations to all of you. And of course, my condolences to the Steelers and all those that lost yesterday. I felt just as sad about the Seahawks. And so my partner and I are going to have to move on to new things.
Oh, yeah. Carolina all the way. But guess what? We have an exciting show lined up for you. Today's National Health Insurance registration begins. We're going to tell you all about that. This is probably a landmark occasion. You want to find out how you can be a part. Don't miss the boat, so they say.
We also have a veteran educator with us this morning that has written a book on reading with preschoolers. You're going to want to find out some of the interesting facts about why your preschooler should be reading now, so you want to stay tuned for that as well.
Indeed, and the remarks by the Chief Justice have proved to be quite interesting. Our legal aid segment, our top-notch lawyers, they delve further into that, all of that, and much more coming up on Bahamas at Sunrise. But before we get to any of that, we're going to turn things over to the coolest man in the studio. That's Godfrey the Dapper Don Burnside with your first look at weather.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First in Insurance, today, tomorrow.
Thank you, Romain. Good morning, Bahamas. And your first look at weather sunrise. We do have a weak frontal boundary across the central Bahamas in the vicinity of Exuma and the Cat Island area, and that's going to continue to move slowly towards the southeast. High pressure to the north is building across the islands, so we'll have some breezy conditions over the next several days and also some cool temperatures. In your satellite loop, you can actually see some cloudiness still around the northwest and central Bahamas, but as that system drifts towards the southeast, some clearing will take place over the northwest Bahamas come tomorrow. Any weather today, we look at a mix of sun and clouds. Expect more clouds and sun during the morning hours, but breezy with a few showers, maybe like a thunderstorm, mainly along that frontal boundary. Your high temperature today reaching 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, still the chance of a shower, mainly over the central and southeast Bahamas. Your low temperature going down to 63 degrees Fahrenheit. And some regional highs and lows across the Caribbean. Barbados, 83 and 75. In Jamaica, 89 and 74. Trinidad, 85 and 72. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 83 and 74. Across North America, Atlanta, 40 and 23. In Raleigh, 34 and 21. In Miami, 70 and 53. And Dallas, Texas, 51 39. Toronto, Canada, 19 and 11. And if I had a weather look, those cool temperatures through the next several days. Temperature daytime will be in the mid-70s, at nighttime lower 60s, even popping some upper 50s across Grand Bahama and Abaco tonight into tomorrow night. Just a couple of clouds around, so we're looking at partly sunny for the remainder of the week, but still a little breezy. That puts a wrap on your first look at weather sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Romy.
Thanks, Godfrey. The National Insurance Board is beginning its drive for its new state-of-the-art smart card. And of course, it's going to be at strategic locations throughout the Family Islands and New Providence. And we welcome to our studios, at least we welcome back from the National Insurance Board, none other than Tammy Francis, who's the Assistant Director of Family Island Operations, and Jason Moxie, who's the Operations Consultant there at NIB. To both of you, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Let's talk a little bit about this registration drive that you're on. What will the participants get at the end of the day?
Well, first and foremost, the National Insurance Board has been mandated by government to
to expand its registration base to include all citizens as well as legal residents of the country. And as a result of this, the NIB has been charged with that responsibility. In our attempt to complete this exercise, we have expanded our operations to include a number of outstations, namely at the JL Center, located on Blake Road, the VBM building on Nassau Street next to Bahamas Air, the Town Center Mall at Blue Hill Road, the Enoch Backford Auditorium at Carmichael Road, the South Beach Shopping Plaza at East Street South, and the Cotton Tree Plaza on Burnett Road. The hours of operation will be between 12 and 8, with the exception of Town Center Mall and Enoch Backford Auditorium. It is our intent over the next 5 months to register what we believe to be approximately 207,000 unregistered citizens and legal residents, of which 165,000 are here on the island of, 157,000 are here on the island of New Providence, and approximately 25,000 in Grand Bahama, and the other 25,000 are spread throughout the family of islands.
It's interesting. So who should be registering?
All citizens.
Also, even if you have a national insurance number?
Just for clarification, those persons who are currently in receipt of a smart card need not apply for re-registration unless there's an expiration date on their card. Because it's a national insurance number, and so therefore there's no reason, unless, as I said, if you don't have a smart card, to apply. Those who are legal residents of the country may also apply, but they then must show proof of their status here in the country in order to obtain a smart card.
Yeah. Now, Francis, I'm sort of like a old-fashioned guy. I don't have the new card. I have the old one, so I need to register it. That's what I'm getting from all of this.
Well, first and foremost, we want to ensure that all of the yellow cards that we all are accustomed to, the
old ones,
the old
okay,
NIB cards, we are actually doing away with those cards.
Okay.
So all persons who have not registered as yet, it is very important that we get these cards, the new smart card. Also too, as a plus, with these cards, they're going to be the ones used for the NHI registration. So it is important that all persons get these cards replaced.
So you're really killing two birds with one stone if you're someone like me.
Yes.
Interesting. Now, you're responsible for the Family Island registration.
Yes.
And obviously, you've projected that there's some numbers out there that need to come in. How is that organized differently from New Providence?
Well, we are actually going with a slight phased approach,
okay,
with regards to our Grand Bahama family. We will be starting for Grand Bahama on Wednesday of this week, that's the 20th. But with regards to our Family Island offices, we are actually extending those hours until 7 p.m. In the instance of the Berry Islands, where there is not a full-time office. We are visiting the Berry Islands. We have a mobile unit that will visit Berry Islands for 1 week for each month that we are going on with this drive.
Go ahead.
For Grand Key, Rum Key, and Ragged Island, we will visit those islands on specified dates, and any other keys we will visit, our mobile units will visit as needed.
So you're actually taking the office to them,
yes,
so to speak. What should they bring in order to be registered?
We need the registration form, which is called the R4. We also need them to to bring along with them the birth certificate, passport, and in some instances, persons may need the affidavit, but it must have a pink search card attached to it. The voter's card will not be something that's used for proof of birth. But the voter's card can be used in the instance of replacing the card. Once you already have the card, you can use your voter's card.
Interesting. You need the passport and the birth certificate, or the birth certificate?
When registering a child, you have the parent. The parent would need both the passport and the birth certificate.
For the child?
Yes.
Now, someone like me, who's got the old-fashioned card, I just need to come with the card then? Is that it?
You would come with your card along with your you would come with your card along with the birth certificate or the passport.
Wow, I need to go and order a birth certificate then, Brother Moxie. Let's talk a little bit then about the process that NASA do. Is this the same thing?
Same process. I should have mentioned also, as it relates to the mobile units that will be available for registration as well. We've established some 10 mobile units.
In New Providence. Excellent.
So that we, in fact, would be able to go out to the larger employers. In other words, we are very aggressive in this exercise. We need to complete this exercise within the next 5 months. And so, therefore, we will not wait for persons to come to us. We are going to employers, those who have in excess of 100 or more employees that would wish us to come on scene to complete the registration process. What we will require, though, is that their internet access is accessible to our system to allow us to be able to operate a mobile unit.
I really need for you to remind our viewers of those locations that you cited at the first instance on New Providence.
Okay, the locations are at the JL Center on Blake Road, Enoch Backford Auditorium on Carmichael Road, the VBM building on Nassau Street, that's just next to Bahamas there, Cotton Tree Plaza, located on Bernard Road in Foxhill, just across the road from St. Anselm's Church. South Beach Shopping Plaza, the same plaza in which Kentucky as well as Super Value is located, and the Town Center Mall located at Blue Hill Road.
Okay, so these are regular office hours type situations?
All with the exception of Town Center Mall and the Enoch Backford Auditorium. They will operate from 9 until 8. The others will operate from 12 until 8.
So you got a good range for the after work?
Precisely. But I think there's one important thing we should also make mention of. Is the fact that as a result of the expansion of our outlets, we've engaged the services of approximately 130 temporary employees here on the island of New Providence. They've been trained and ready to go. On Grand Bahama, we've employed approximately 21 persons to be a part of this registration drive. So I think there are two key components that you need to be aware of.
And there's one last thing. For those persons who do not want to go to the various centers, they're able to take advantage of the online registration option, where they're able to go to our website, download the form, complete the form. Our website is www.nib-bahamas.com. Once the form is completed, scan it, send it to our email address, which is registration@nib-bahamas.com. We will get that information and we will contact you and give you a specified date as to when to come into that particular office to complete your registration. We will take your picture, capture your signature, and you leave with your card. And this is
That's excellent right there.
Right. And this is available throughout the Bahamas, New Providence, Grand Bahama, and the Family Islands.
Yeah, that's very good.
There's one other point I want to make also, as it relates to, there are some persons who, in fact, when the registration drive commenced back in 2014, we failed to capture the signature of about 20,000 persons on their card. So those persons need to view their card. And if their card does not have their signature on it, those cards will be reissued. But we will be asking those persons, and a time or place will be announced as to when those cards can be collected. They would just need to bring proof of their citizenship or their status here in the country, and a card would be provided to them.
All right. Well, Jason Moxie, Operations Consultant at NIB, and Tammy Francis, Assistant Director of Family Island Operations. Congratulations on this initiative. I know this was a mammoth undertaking, and that's probably an understatement. So congratulations, good luck, and congratulations to you. I see wonderful things have happened since you've been on Bahamas at Sunrise last. Continue to do well.
Thank you.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise on a cool Monday morning. We'll be back after this.
The founding fathers of labor organizations, especially ours, set out with a vision to ensure equality in the workplace and security of tenure and adequate compensation for labor. Successive leaders have enhanced and expanded that vision, which now looks toward real personal and economic empowerment, full freedom of association, and full expression and exercise of the rights and freedoms enshrined in the Constitution, in which we all have a right to as citizens of the Bahamas.
Our women have evolved from housewives and home-centered persons to persons competing in every profession and every field of endeavor. With women concentrating more on education than men, it is anticipated that women will continue to exceed in professions and provide competition for men. I remember that the first woman was called to the Bahamas bar in and around the 50s. We now have almost as many women as men, and I anticipate that in the early part of this century, the women will outnumber the men at the bar. We also have a woman Chief Justice. Most of our magistrates are women, and we also have another woman puisne judge.
Come get informed at our 25th annual Bahamas Business Outlook, Thursday, January 21st, 2016. Register now at tclevents.com or call 322-7505.
Good afternoon. First response. How can I help you?
I've been in an accident on West Bay Street. Can you send someone to help?
Yes, ma'am. A first response team will be there in 15 minutes. Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine, but a bit upset.
We're glad you're not hurt. Please, try to relax. Our team will take care of everything as soon as they arrive.
First Response provides immediate on-site service and support from the scene of an accident through the claims and repair process. And it's free to all Bahamas First insured drivers in New Providence, every day for any type of accident. If you drive and want first response on your side, call 32-FIRST or visit bahamasfirst.com for the name of an authorized Bahamas First agent. First response can't prevent an accident from happening,
But it can certainly ease your mind when it happens.
When you think of Andros, think of nature at its best.
When you think of Andros, think of colorful places.
When you think of Andros, think of beautiful people taking care of each other and our guests.
Think Andros.
Think bone fishing. Think Andros. Think diving.
Think Andros. Think people to people.
Need a business license? Simply apply and pay online with the user-friendly online tax administration system, OTAS. VAT registrations, payments, information, forms, confirmation of applications or payments, all online. Even the business license will be emailed directly to successful applicants. So why waste time? With OTAS, our doors are always open. Access OTAS, the online tax administration system, at vat.revenue.gov.bs or email us at taxinquiries@bahamas.gov.bs or call 242-225-7280.
Okay. Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
For the
I'm
past
smiling
25
this morning
years, the
because I am in
TCL Group has
studio
been committed
with
to providing a
veteran teacher, veteran educator, Mrs. Agatha Archer, and she's here to share with us on a new book that she wrote that's going to be able to teach your preschooler how to read. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise, Ms. Archer.
Good morning and thanks for having me.
So Ms. Archer, I want to get right into this. I called you a veteran educator, and for anyone that knows you, they know that you've spent many years helping to establish the way that preschools operate and run, really with early childhood education. And I just want to get from you a bit of your background. What exactly is it that you do for the Ministry of Education?
At the moment, I'm retired and working as the preschool education consultant.
Okay.
I worked as an assistant director of education for the early childhood section, particularly responsible for preschool for more than 10 years.
Wow.
And I've always been an early childhood, I would say, a specialist. I started off as an untrained teacher with in the unique settlement of West End Grand Bahama.
Okay.
where I established a kindergarten there through our church school under the late Reverend Michael Eldon. And from there, I went to England, worked in preschools over there. They call them playgroups and creche.
Okay.
And after that, I came back to the Bahamas, and my teaching here started in grade 1.
Okay.
And from there, I was promoted to the Ministry of Education to supervise preschool.
All right. So, I mean, you have had a full career in this with experiences from around the world.
Yes.
And you and I were talking off camera, and you said to me that you would have traveled to the United States for conferences.
Yes.
And you've seen different methods of how to teach children to read.
Yes.
Why is it important for us to even begin talking about having our babies read at 3 and 4? Why does that matter?
When we talk about reading, it's not actually having to read a book at 3 and 4. It's the concept and the pre-readiness training that you do for children at that level.
Okay.
But as you know, research has said that learning takes place between birth and 5.
Right.
And when we say birth, some people try to squirm and say birth. Of course, you would have heard about parents reading to children in their during the
womb,
pregnancy in the
Mhm.
womb. And so the research now says that learning takes place between birth and 5. And if you don't feed a child, we have things in our brain called cells, synapses. These synapses will just shrink away.
Wow.
And well, eventually you would have someone who isn't able to function. But when we say learning, we mean the discipline of learning,
Okay.
not actually being able to spell Mississippi, but how to react to the methods of learning.
Okay. And this book that you've written, it is called The Teacher's and Parents' Guide to Reading Readiness for Preschoolers.
Yes,
And
it
I just
is.
want you to hold it up so that our camera can pick that up there.
Yes.
And I want you to tell us about the book and what people can expect from the book itself.
Okay, let me just say a little about the title. The title is long, but every word in this title has a meaning to me, a special meaning to me.
Okay.
As an assistant director of education, I supervise many initiatives and projects in the Ministry of Education, and I also wrote a similar book. I would call it a program, an early literacy program for the government preschools. And in doing that, we were sponsored by the Ministry of Education and the IDB.
Right.
Well, actually, the IDB gave the Ministry of Education a loan, and so we have to pay that back eventually. However, in writing that series or being a part of that initiative, we discovered that we needed to launch out also into the private sector. At the Ministry of Education, teachers are permitted, teachers come in with a training discipline already.
Right.
You would not be employed in the Ministry of Education unless you have your bachelor's degree
Right.
in education. Whereas in the private sector, there are many untrained teachers,
Right.
unfortunately. Some of their own, some they just, you know, needed a job.
Right.
And so with the initiatives, I focused on untrained teachers.
Okay.
We developed a program called the Grandfather Program when the legislation came into being,
Okay.
which helped many of the teachers in that area. And so going out and having to do a trainer program, we discovered that there are many out there who are untrained.
Okay.
And so writing this book, I not only had parents in mind, but also teachers who are untrained.
Okay.
So a teachers and parents manual, knowing that parents too would not have, some of them would not have had the training, they would need this to know how to teach preschoolers to read.
Okay.
And so that is first of all
The title.
The title.
And so what are we going to find once we open up those pages and go inside the book?
Okay, you're going to find strategies as to, again, I'm dealing with the untrained person, as to how they can improve their skills in teaching children in a developmentally appropriate manner.
Okay.
And so this book deals with a lot of pre-readiness skills and concepts that children would need before going on to the actual reader.
Okay.
In this book also, as I mentioned to you before, when I attended a conference some years ago, I discovered that children can learn through using high-frequency words. It's the old method of look and say, which I used, which former prime ministers used. My mother-in-law taught it, but it has proven to be effective.
Okay.
It's not giving the child a comprehensive look at reading, but it's making the child interested in reading, because once the child can call these words, they're proud of themselves. And as we say, they learn from birth to 5. Many toddlers know words already.
Yep.
They have words in their,
And so being able to see them with this book
exactly
helps them to learn to read.
Right.
So Ms. Archer, if people wanted to reach you for more information, how could they contact you?
They can contact me via my email, which is Archer Agatha, ARCHER, at yahoo.com.
And where is the book available for sale?
The book will be available. At the moment, I'm sticking to my purpose. I am actually implementing, in fact, I will be in Freeport on Wednesday implementing this to daycare and preschool directors. I'm actually implementing. I am a firm believer that you do not just pass a book like this in someone's hand. The person must be trained as to how to use the book.
I hear you, Ms. Archer.
So now I am training persons in New Providence, in the Family Islands, as to how to use the book. I think that is my duty and my responsibility. I believe in service, service to others. And so I am going to give that service first, because it's not all about money.
No.
I'm not in it for the money's sake, because if I tell you how much I have pumped into this financially.
We would know that, right?
Oh my goodness.
Well, I'm glad that you told people where to reach you so that they can come and get the book and learn how to use it. Thank you so much for writing it and for being with us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you too.
We'll be right back after you take this look at the Bahamas Business Outlook 25th year announcement.
For the past 25 years, the TCL Group has been committed to providing a well-respected forum for the discussion of national business and financial matters. The councillors recently held a press conference to promote the Silver Jubilee Anniversary event. CEO and President Joan Albury.
On Thursday, January 21st, we will host our 25th Bahamas Business Outlook. And I would just like to thank the many people who have supported us over the past 25 years. I'd like to mention in particular British American Financial, the Ministry of Tourism, the Ministry of Finance, Full Call Sun Oil, Atlantic Medical, and Scotiabank. We have had many other supporters. I recall when we began Business Outlook 25 years ago that it was Phil Galanis and Ernst & Young who supported the idea that we had. And I'd like to go on record as thanking Phil Galanis and the management team of Ernst & Young for believing in us and supporting the Business Outlook 25 years ago.
The topics for this year's forum centers around the burning issues that will decide the economic future of the country next year. Speakers in attendance were Emmanuel Kumalafi, Pia Farmer, Candace Steele, and Arthur Rowe.
I hope to bring to the business community attention the risks that are presented, the climate-related risk, and those would include the physical risk, regulatory, legislative, and legislative risk. We would go through some of the events that happen in the Bahamas. I hope to show or to demonstrate the evidence of climate change in the Bahamas and how they impact businesses. And then I would like to show the business community their role in adaptation and mitigation of climate change events in the Bahamas.
Certainly, the Bahamas Insurance Association has been in the news quite a bit in recent times on the matter of universal health care that we actually support, as well as other stakeholders. But my presentation at the Outlook will focus on the role of insurance in 21st century Bahamas. And even though we've been talking about the health insurance component, there are other aspects of insurance with respect to property and casualty, which is general insurance, as well as life insurance. And last year we celebrated 40 years of the BIA being in existence. And the industry has actually evolved significantly over the last 4 decades. And so we want to look at the impact it's had on the economy of the Bahamas and what we envision in 21st century Bahamas. Most times when persons look at insurance, they look at it perhaps just as a financial security and protection tool to actually help them manage or transfer their risk. But we want to look at it even beyond that to see the impact it has on the economy of the Bahamas in terms of contribution to employment, to economic growth and development. In recent times we had, and I think this ties into the presentation, that would deal with climate change as well. We've had hurricanes, and we know the role that the insurance sector plays with respect to managing catastrophic events and the risk, financial risk emanating from those. And so we look at that as well. And we know there's some challenges ahead, but also we will explore the opportunities that come even in the midst of the challenges.
Connecticut State accounting professor Candace Deal will be speaking on education reform and skilled labor force in the Bahamas.
Currently, we are, facing so many social ills right now in the country. And, there is not one solution to the problems. There are many solutions, but I think one that we should really focus on and really, put heavy investment in is that of education. And so I'm going to be talking about the importance of education and how we need to invest more and focus more on education, and specifically tertiary education. Learning doesn't stop when a child graduates from the 12th grade. Learning is a continuing process, and so I want to focus on the importance of earning, a college degree. And I'm also going to tie education into the skilled labor force, or, training our Bahamian people to become more trained in different areas. Right now, the Bahamas, whether we like it or not, the economy is ever changing. Industries that are being introduced in the Bahamian economy right now are industries that we did not have 25 years ago. So in keeping with the theme of the Bahamas Business Outlook, of looking 25 years into the future, the Bahamian economy is going to be so diverse. And so with the diversification that we're faced with right now, I think that, we must train our Bahamian people, especially, our kids, starting from high school and going forward, train them in other industries so that the supply of labor in the Bahamian economy would actually match the demand of labor in the Bahamian economy.
President of Easy Eco Cars, Pia Farmer.
I have been driving Nissan Leaf, 100% electric vehicle, for 18 months exclusively. Love it, will never go back, and I'm going to show you why you should consider the electric vehicle. So we will have a couple of cars there. One will be for everybody to see, touch, feel, and experience, and there will be another one that people will be able to drive around, so that you get an idea what it's like to drive a purely electric vehicle.
Persons who are interested in learning more or registering for Bahamas Business Outlook 2016 may contact Margaret Albury at the Counselors Limited, or you may register online at tclevents.com. This is Travis Edgecombe for Bahamas at Sunrise.
Join us for the 25th Annual Bahamas Business Outlook, Thursday, January 21st at the Malia Nassau Resort. A bold agenda, the next 25 years, with speakers the Right Honorable Perry G. Christie, Gowan Bowe, Vernice Joaquin, Arthur Rowe, Emmanuel Komalafi, Sonia Brown, Carlisle Roberts, Darren Turnquest, Candace Lynette Deal, and Donovan Moxie. To register, call Margaret Albury at 322-7505 or register online at tclevents.com.
At Henry F. Store Electric Company, we supply all your electric needs for any size project, from residential housing to luxury hotels. We can help you achieve just the right look, from doorbells to chandeliers, table lamps to ceiling fans, wire, conduit, panels, dimmers, switches, plugs, and even tools. And don't forget light bulbs. We have those hard-to-find energy-saving fluorescent bulbs and more. Henry F. Store Electric, number 135 Mackley Street. Over 50 years of reliability, service, and low prices. We also ship to the Family Islands.
And now, your hosts, Ramald Ferreira and Anastasia Palacios.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise at the Halfway Point. What a fantastic show. Love talking to those folks from National Insurance and this whole National Insurance card, the smart card. You better get it. That's all I can say.
And they said there was a process where you can actually email or go online and fill out the form and then they get back to you, which I thought was good, right? Yeah.
It's kind of like setting up your own appointment. You can kind of do it at your convenience, so that customer service element of that. And then, of course, it's 25 years of Bahamas Business Outlook.
Yeah, and that's really going to be great this Thursday. Looking forward to that. You're going to make it out, Roman?
I will be there in full effect. I'm looking forward. Can't miss the 25th year. You know?
No, you really can't miss the 25th year. I know it's going to be dynamic, and I had fun talking with Miss Archer as well. She really is passionate about this early education thing, and you get to see the passion come through in people whenever they come on the show. So I'm looking forward to our second half. We've got more passion for you in the second half of the show.
That's right. Speaking of passion, we'll be speaking with lawyers from Chancellor's Chambers. We'll be discussing the upcoming, the statements made by the Chief Justice at the opening of the legal year, the whole Swift Justice, an analysis of those statements and what we can look forward to in 2016.
Yeah, those were some interesting comments. I'm definitely going to be tuned into that segment to hear you lawyers talk about it. But I'm also excited because Julian Believe is here in studio, and that is going to be a dynamic conversation and performance. It's just, I get excited about Julian Believe because I know how long he's been pursuing his music career. Wow. And to see it come to the fore and for him to be traveling worldwide, it's just a reminder that if you keep pushing, anything is possible. And of course, he's been on Bahamas at Sunrise. And you know what you say, Rumi. Great things happen to you when you come here. And so looking forward to that segment as well.
Certainly. Congratulations to him. There's nothing like having an idea or concept about yourself that you pursue and that you remain true to. I think that is probably the definition of success right there.
Certainly it is. So we've got all of that and more ahead for you, but let's take a second look at weather with Godfrey Burnside. He's speaking my language and cooling things down for us this week. Here's to you, Godfrey.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First in Insurance, today, tomorrow.
Thank you, Star, and good morning, Bahamas. In your second look at weather at sunrise, your solid pictures show that there's some cloudiness across the northwest and central Bahamas. That frontal boundary is now the central Bahamas moving towards the southeast. High pressure is building, so some breezy conditions over the next several days across the islands. For the most part in your marine forecast, we're asking smoke-off operators to remain near port over the next couple of days, and swimmers remain out of the water because of the high risk of rip currents. Winds today northerly at 15-20 knots, seas 4 to 7 feet over northwest Bahamas. South to southwest at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet over the central and southeastern islands. On Tuesday, those winds north to northeast at 15-20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet over the northwest and central Bahamas, variable at 10 knots or less, seas less than 3 feet over the southeastern islands. Then on Wednesday, those winds become northeasterly at 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet over northwest Bahamas, and increasing 15-20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet over the central and southeast Bahamas. Your tides. You can expect a low tide at 8:50 this morning. Next high tide will be at 2:43 this afternoon. Low gain tonight at 9:02. Sunset will be at 5:44 this evening. Rises tomorrow morning at 6:56. UV index 6. Your water temperature is 76 degrees Fahrenheit. Honeymoon phase for its quarter. On the extended look, we're looking at partly sunny and breezy conditions into about Wednesday when those winds start falling off, particularly in the northwest Bahamas. Slight chance of a passing shower. Temperature daytime will be in the mid-70s. At nighttime, in the mid to low 60s, and even popping up some upper 50s across the extreme northwest Bahamas. That puts a wrap on your fun look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Romy.
During his remarks at the opening of the 2016 legal year, the Chief Justice expressed his concerns with some of the processes involved in the administration of justice. And here to dissect these concepts that the Chief Justice put out there for us is Merritt Storr. He's the managing partner at Chancellor's Chambers, and Nadia Wright. She's a partner at Chancellor's Chambers. To both of you, welcome.
Good morning.
To Bahamas at Sunrise. Now, the headline in our newspaper, at least the one that I saw, and I think the one that sort of got everybody's attention, was his attempt to describe the worst of the worst, and indicating now we've gone from not just the method in which someone is killed, but the amount of persons that are killed in terms of massacres. So let's talk a little bit about that. What does this mean in practical terms?
Yeah, it probably would have been helpful if he had explained, and again, I was only getting excerpts from what I read in the press, but I, as you said, diagnosed that he was talking about the Privy Council's ruling that the death penalty can only be applied in cases where the worst of the worst in terms of how the murder was executed took place. And I think that was very disconcerting to a lot of people. But if they had read a little further, it also said that he was suggesting that a constitutional amendment may be necessary. Now, I'm not sure what we would be amending exactly, whether it's the Privy Council's jurisdiction or something to do with the death penalty itself. He didn't explain, or I should say what I read didn't fully elaborate. But I think we are in this quandary. We seem to have a position where the majority of the population are frustrated by the fact that the death penalty does not take place. And we have an ultimate court of appeal which clearly does not want to implement or enforce the death penalty. So that's our conflict, and we've been fighting with that now for a number of years.
It's been a conflict, and it came to a head in the Taito case, the Maxwell Taito case, which was a particularly heinous crime. I won't repeat the details, but that crime in and of itself left a lot of people outraged in terms of the sentencing, because that didn't amount to the worst of the worst.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's like where we're going forward from here. But the Chief Justice also presented some interesting views on jury trials in that process. So what do you think about that, Nadia?
Yes, Romy, the Chief Justice, it is reported that the Chief Justice stated that jury trials should be abolished or restricted to those criminal cases where the potential for the imposition of the death penalty arises. And he also indicated that juries tend to be, well, he questioned their competency, and he also questioned whether they would be able to be accountable for the decisions that they arrive at. And that is something that we must be mindful of as a population, bearing in mind that we do have a national average of D. And so he would like the population to be mindful of where we are as a nation.
That's really an interesting comment, because sitting where he sits and having sat and presided over many, many trials and seeing the things that he's seen obviously would have influenced him saying that. And in his estimation, he may have seen some miscarriages of justice in relation to jury trials.
Maybe even recently.
I think that's a fascinating comment, given his experience and the range of his experience. The Chief Justice also said that the warrant system needs to be revamped, as it's not currently working effectively. Judges taking too long to render decisions, set in line for, he's thinking about 1 month. I know we have decisions pending years. A lot of these types of administrative deficiencies.
No, I mean, listening or reading his comments, you get an example of the inefficiencies in our system. And some of them are very glaring and very frustrating. I think all of us as attorneys have experienced cases where the ruling is taken, as you just said, it's taken more than a year
Some
to get
year,
a ruling.
up to 5 years
for
one ruling.
It's these deficiencies really hurt litigants.
Yeah.
And if you are someone who is not well resourced and you're really
as in
depending,
don't have plenty money, let me translate that
absolutely.
for some of our
and
viewers.
you're waiting and hoping for a quick resolution of your matter, it really puts you at a severe disadvantage. So all of these areas that he was pointing out, and I think it's good that he is pointing it out. The question though is, can these things be fixed? And how quickly can they be fixed? Because it's really hurting people out there who want to rely on rectification of an injustice done to them.
Yeah, everything can be fixed. But the Attorney General sort of juxtapose kind of like the dichotomy of thought on this, or inconsistency?
I'm going to leave this to
Well, she's talking about a greater number of prosecuted cases, a higher conviction rate, given the idea that these things are moving along. And if they are moving along and we have these administrative flaws, then what degree of confidence can we actually put in any greater degree of conviction? I think it's a fascinating discussion.
It is a fascinating discussion, Romy, and we have to be critical of what is before us.
Sure.
Yes, there might be convictions, but if the conviction is unsafe, then the ability to appeal is right there, and the appeal could very well be successful. So we have got to be at a position where our system is working and working efficiently.
We were talking about sort of the remedies for the system. The good thing that they're actually discussing it means that it's in the crosshairs, so to speak, for solution.
We are, I mean, clearly, because of the problem that we have in our society at the moment, every possible area that is a part of the situation the light is shining brightly. And clearly there are deficiencies in our administration of justice system, in my opinion, that are contributing to our criminal environment at the moment. There are people who feel that they can get back out,
Right.
they can get over on the system.
Yeah.
My case can take so long to come up, I'm going to eventually get bail. And the facts of the matter are, we have people charged with serious offenses out on bail because their trial did not come up in a timely manner. And you have a constitutional right to a trial within a reasonable period of time. And if we don't do that, these people end up back on the street. So that we have to fix that. You know, I mean,
It's an inefficient system.
We've also seen the interference with the process of justice. Witnesses.
Precisely. So witnesses are not feeling safe, and we have a system where because we have a small country, you have people who are intimidated to give information, and so the whole mechanism needs fixing. One where witnesses are not being intimidated, one where we increase the educational level in our country, where all parties involved, all facets of our society are involved in combating what is before us right now, an inefficient system, a crime-ridden system.
It's interesting stuff. I know both of you are commercial attorneys.
Yes.
Don't really practice in the criminal courts, but there are some similarities and parallelisms, I would imagine.
Yes, I attend court more than Merit does. So what I have found on the civil side, commercial side, is that as an attorney, you must be proactive in getting matters through the court system. And proactive means you as the attorney must be hands-on in ensuring that the matter is being properly prosecuted. Of course, this is subject to a judge's diary, and you've got to be mindful that dates can be some ways off, but you've got to be tenacious in getting the matter pushed through the system.
All right. Well, Nadia and Merit, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For being on Bahamas at Sunrise. It's always a pleasure talking to you wonderful people first thing in the morning, as we have been doing for a very, very long time now. And Nadia, I have to compliment your hairdresser, Goldie. He's done a wonderful job. They've done a wonderful job. I mean, you look fantastic.
It's a lady. Thank you.
It's a lady.
Yes, Goldie's a lady.
Goldie. Congratulations, Goldie. Well done. Thank you, though. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll be back after this.
Clearly, we're in the information age. We are in the age of the network computer. In January 97, only 17 million computers were connected to the internet. Only 17 million in January 97. Today, about 100 million computers are connected to the internet. And based on the current rates of increase, by the end of this year, 200 million people will be connected to the internet. This has really begun to affect our industry quite dramatically. And I think we are clearly only at the beginnings. In our industry today, the largest travel agent is online. You can't even go into their office. The name of that travel agent, so to speak, its name is Expedia, a Microsoft website where you can book your ticket from A to B without ever having to go in, without ever having to step out of your living room.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think that we are living through exciting times. The excitement is a function of what you make of it. Technology is available to us all. As Douglas Robertson said, the generation that is alive today has an opportunity to design the next civilization. I strongly believe that that is true. This is not something given to every generation. My counsel, my advice, my encouragement as a practitioner in the industry is to go forth with a great strength, great character, and with an arrogance, and encourage the young Turks and encourage blind faith in the fact that the information society is inevitable and that Bahamas and other small nations around the Caribbean can be leaders in the society.
Don't miss 2016's dynamic speakers at our 25th annual Bahamas Business Outlook, Thursday, January 21st. Register now at tclevents.com or call 322-7505.
Renewing pride in our people, improving healthy conditions, lending social assistance to families trying to make a change.
The government is implementing CCT, the Conditional Cash Transfer Program, which is proving successful in our region. CCT is a new exciting form of social assistance to help Bahamians break free of the poverty cycle with dignity. CCT provides a cash benefit and many more with an emphasis on improving the health and education of our families. CCT has the advantage of transparency, improved targeting, automation, better monitoring, better processing, improved service, improving client dignity. Call the Social Safety Net hotline at 397-8628. The Department of Social Services. Together we rise.
Inspiring you, rise. Sustaining you, rise. Empowering you to rise.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. I am all smiles this morning because I am a believer. Julian Believe is with me today, and you know him because he was on the world stage for the Miss World pageant. Julian, welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here this morning.
Listen, whenever we get you back, we know that great things have happened and that great things are going to continue to happen to you. Just want to find out from you, Julian, what was the experience in China like?
I mean, it was phenomenal for me to be able to represent our country on such a big platform. The support that we received in China, you couldn't buy that. And the love and, you know, just to be able to see Bahamians proud from China was the best reward that I could have. And it made me feel like, you know what, we could be here in the Bahamas doing something, and people on the other side of the world could see it and be like, yo, this is amazing. And we're international. That's how I feel as a nation, man. So, you know, you can't put it into words how good it feels to know that I could have represented our country there.
And for anyone looking to see the video, because there are some people that might not have seen it, seen you moving and dancing and the girls moving and dancing, where can they find the video?
You can go right on YouTube, on my YouTube page. Just type in Dances of the World 2015, and you'll have an opportunity to see it. I'm really proud, and I'd like to say thank you to everyone because we garnered about 1 million views in 1 week just off the video. And I want to say publicly, I want to say to the Bahamas, I really, 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 really appreciate the support that you've given to me and the love that I've been receiving from I've been back home.
That's awesome, man. Now, Julian, last year, you worked with Bungie Garland. Live and Wine is still my jam. I play it every weekend when I want to get myself prepped up and ready to go. And this year, you're working on a new project with some of the biggest names, like the biggest names in reggae and across the Caribbean. Tell me what you're going to be performing for us today.
I have a new song called Party Ambassadors. It's keeping up with the whole hype and party trend, Live and Wine, Caribbean Slide. Just want to continue to keep people dancing. I feel very, very fortunate to be able to collaborate with Beanie Man.
Beanie Man.
Father Fox who sings Talkin'.
Father Fox.
And then Ricardo Drew sings Vagabond. And having those guys as, mentors and partners to assist with this project, it means a lot to me. And it's another great accomplishment and a great step in the right direction, especially as a race to the Junkanoo pop sound, So we're excited and we're ready to go. And I can't wait to perform it for you guys.
Well, listen, if you can't wait, I can't wait. I'm going to clear the stage now. I'll be dancing behind our cameraman as Julian Believes performs the song Party Ambassadors. Here he is.
Let's go. This for all my Bahamian people out there. I just want to have a good time. Here we go. Here we go. Everybody know I love the joking, I love the jamming, I love the drink and sing. Every time I around the world, around town is we always celebrating. They say we the life of the party, what we do is so amazing. We love the slow wine, go wine. From fence to party we misbehave, like we have no control. Anytime, any place on it, we on party patrol. We represent it and right now we in the mood. So the winding up on the line, I'm up to go show. We don't
up beer and rum. As the girl them a wine and me a wine pon them. Smoke a train start and me a join with them. Party ambassadors we sign with them. We love to celebrate and full of joy with friends.
Old things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right into the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
Join us for the 25th Annual Bahamas Business Outlook, Thursday, January 21st at the Malia Nassau Resort. A bold agenda, the next 25 years, with speakers the Right Honorable Perry G. Christie, Gowan Bowe, Vernice Joaquin, Arthur Rowe, Emmanuel Komalafi, Sonia Brown, Carlisle Roberts, Darren Turnquist, Candace Lynette Deal, and Donovan Moxie. To register, call Margaret Albury at 322-7505 or register online at tclevents.com.
Well, that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and we hope you have a fabulous week.
All right. And don't forget to register for Bahamas Business Outlook. Can you do it online?
You can look us up at the counselors or give us a call here. You can ask to speak with Margaret Albury, and she will get you all ready and set to go.
All right. Now we got Julian Believe here. You know, Julian, congratulations. We're very, very proud of you. And of course, if we have you here, we go hold you and make you sing and sing and sing.
It's always a pleasure.
All right.
Always a pleasure.
We don't care. We put our hands in the air tonight. We don't care. We don't party.
Everybody know I love the joking, I love the jamming, I love the drink and sing. Every time I around the word around town is we always celebrating. They say we the life of the party, what we do is so amazing. We love to slow